All right. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Jason Blaha here, representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. And today we have another Natty or not, but hold on, let me get a sip of this water. And on that note, we have imitated none other than Chris Beastmode Jones. Now, this is going to be one of those where some people are not going to like what I have to say. They're like, Jason, you're supposed to be calling out the fake natties. What are you about to do? What are you about to do? All right, guys, I'm just going to be straight up with this one. I'm going to be straight up with this one. I've known Chris quite a few years. We talk. I know his position on all this stuff, and I've watched his gains over the years. And I want some people to take a couple things into consideration when I say what I'm going to say. Number one, the guy's been training over 20 years, trains really hard. We have seen him squat 500 pounds on a back squat. We've seen him front squat 405. I want you to step back and look at his overall muscle insertions and shape. There's a genetic structure there a lot of guys don't have. I don't have. A lot of other people do not have. That has to be factored in. Also factor in how much his gains slowed. And I don't think people realize they're seeing Chris and they're thinking he's huge, and he's not massive. He's got good muscle density. He's got good insertions and good muscle shape genetically. He has like 20 plus years of training. So you have to factor that in. You have to factor that in when you look at this situation. Okay, so you take some of these other people I've called out, like Joffrey, who after a decade of training made a bunch of gains. All of a sudden, starts looking better and better and better. Put on like 5 pounds of muscle in a year. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Remember when Chris did that big, serious, hardcore bulk a number of years back? He bulked up. He put on 30 pounds in a year. Got his squat up to like 500 pounds, put on 30 pounds of body weight, got kind of fat, did a cut, and after this whole year-long bulk, he gained 1 pound. 1 pound of muscle. One pound. Does that sound like a 30-pound steroid bulk? You do a bunch of gear, you put on 30 pounds, get your squat to that, then cut down, and you get 1 pound? But it's not biased. There's a difference. Alex made a lot of gains after years and years of training, and actually gets more shredded than Chris. I want you to keep that in mind. When you look at Chris, even when he's down near contest lean and normal lighting, he's not having that same 3D look. He's not having that ultra shredded look. He just doesn't. He's not having that look that we're talking about. I'm not saying you have to have that look to be on gear. We're saying that look itself is indicative of specific drugs. Okay, it doesn't mean that all steroid users are going to have that look. But keep in mind, it's been, look how slow. And again, let's be clear. We're talking about a 30-pound year-long bulk to get 1 pound out of it. And it's not like he's moving lightweight. The guy put in some work. We watched him squat 500 pounds during all of that. Now, you guys can disagree with me all that you want. You're free to disagree. You're free to disagree. I'm giving my opinion. Giving my opinion based upon what I observed. So I'm going to say, is it possible Chris is natural? Yes. It is possible that Chris is natural. All those factors considered, it's one of those where you say, it's possible. It is possible. I don't know what Alpha Destiny's at right now. I've seen Alpha Destiny at 5 or 6, like 6% before. I have no clue what he's at right now. Do you see the problem? What percentage? I don't know. You need to put up a picture of somebody so that we can assess them at that moment. But body fat percent changes all the time, right? So I don't know. Has Alex got a current shirtless video up this week? So then how are you going to estimate it? So that's my point with Chris. Again, we are talking genetics, genetic structure, the years of training. And yes, Chris has a good physique. He has a great physique, but there's also a genetic component and a structural component to that. I haven't seen Alex this week, Ola, but I can go back and remember stuff I was seeing a year ago. I can remember stuff I saw a few years ago. And he was definitely on the sauce. My current fat-free mass index is at least 27. I mean, you could plug it into a calculator based on where you think I am. But yeah, and here's the thing, their attitude alone, like I don't need to know that NH even lifts to know that he's on gear. I don't even need to know what he looks like. His attitude towards it alone tells me he's a fake natty. He could be a $120 and his attitude alone is the dead giveaway. You don't have to look like you're on steroids to clearly be a fake natty with the way that you present yourself, with the level of bullshit and arrogance. Real naturals do not behave like the Noble Natty crew. Their whole crew is on gear based on the attitude alone. It's a dead giveaway. Their results not even relevant. Okay? Real naturals do not have that attitude that they have. That is a dead giveaway every single time. No, we know Genova was on gear. He admitted being on gear. Everyone knows he's on gear. That is a very, very great way to assess row 10. I'm sorry, but that is the reaction. I'm not even sorry. I'm not sorry at all, motherfucker. You know what? The attitude is a dead giveaway. Real naturals don't act like that. That is always the sign of a fake natural when they pull the steroids, degeneracy, steroid. TRT is degenerate. Okay, that is a cope like a motherfucker. What clown, Luke? You call me a clown? You're a clown. Your mom's a clown. So I gave you my opinion, guys. I actually give Chris the benefit of the doubt that he is natural. Because they're not natural, though, Hellbull. Okay, let me explain this again. Have you guys ever met a real natural in your fucking life who actually trains? Clearly you haven't, because I've known plenty of them. Real people who are actually natty accept that it's part of the game. They know that tons of people use gear. Anyone who trains hard and takes their training seriously, who is a real natural, has a very chill attitude about it. Meaning they usually just say, no, I've never used gear, man. It's just not right for me. I just didn't feel the risk was worth it. That is usually where they leave it. This whole treating it like it's a religion is a marketing cope for pimping products and pimping ideas. It's creating a cult of fake naturals. That is how the whole fake natural movement started. You guys are aware of that? When you go back and you look at all the worst offenders of being fake naturals, every single one of them, all of them pull that bullshit. They all pull that same line. The noble natties like natural hypertrophy. We're going to talk about the Jason blah blah with my outrageous French accent and his butt buddy Cubby strap-on destiny. That is the exact attitude the fake natties pulled for 15, 20 years. The exact same attitude. We're better. We're morally superior. It's that's how dare you lie about me? You know, that righteous indignation is the mark of the fake natty. That is the mark of a fake natty every single time. And that's the point, future. Chris has gained like a pound of muscle here or there, and it takes him years, right? It takes Chris Jones a year, 2 years, 3 years to stack on 1 pound of new muscle. It's just been consistent chip away, chip away. Plus, you have to look at genetic structure. Go back and look at how he looked when he was way smaller. When he was a noob, he always had that genetic structure. These other guys did not have it. They do not have the genetics for that. So you take someone like Joffrey, there's no genetic awesomeness happening there. There's nothing happening. Same thing, you take strap-on destiny, there's no ridiculous, amazing aesthetic genetics happening there. Okay? So I'm just going to call it like it is. But you guys are free to talk about other topics. But hey, I gave my opinion on this one because I had a bunch of people ask me in the comments. You guys can go ahead and unsub. It's fine. Bobby E says, what's the maximum amount of steroids you can take to still be considered natty? I don't know, man. I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I really don't care. Ola, you said, why do all the people who look so much better than you, they're all on steroids? So you're saying I look better than Chris Jones? Is that what you're saying? Because if you're going to use that against me, I just say Chris Jones could be natural. I haven't had any mechanical growth factor in many, many years. Janoy says, people, Jason online saying 3 reps for barbell curls are as effective as 8. What's your thoughts, man? 3 reps on a barbell curl is a good way to tear a bicep. Could I do a natty or not on Max Usida? He's on my list. No, I'm not bigger than Serge Newgray was in his prime. Come on. Is RFK Jr. natty? Probably not. He's probably on a little test and growth hormone. I would be if I was his age. Why wouldn't you be? But here's the thing. Do we care? I mean, when people ask the question of is 2RT natty, do we even care anymore? Does it even matter? Ronnie Coleman was natty up until winning Mr. O. Yeah, I doubt that. Natty for pay. Pete Rubish deadlifting with roid acne in his basement was peak YouTube. It kind of was, man. This platform has gone downhill, has it not, guys? Man, you guys are getting all upset. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. You guys need to make up your mind. Either I'm saying everyone who looks better than me is on gear, or I'm not. I just gave one, and then people get upset. Future, I'm very aware. I've seen that. And that's the thing. All Alex was concerned with natural hypertrophy being up my butt. him and his whole circle seem to be real obsessed with that, right? Remember what he said, Future? I've already talked about it. You had Cubby over here talking about his daddy, right, Frenchie. You want this and you want natural hypertrophy up your ass again? Is that what you want? He got really excited when he said it. Did you see the little jump he did? He did a little jump of excitement when he said it. It kind of tells you where his mindset is. If you guys are on something, then do it. Why are you still commenting? I'm not the one who's got the thing. I'm not the one making the memes in the comments. Helpful. He doesn't know much about me at all. He makes up bullshit. Let me explain how this works. A dude standing here making up stuff about you, holding blank sheets of paper, doesn't know much about you. Well, Future, he did kind of, he already responded there a little bit now. He already responded a little bit. So let's get over into some real Q&As. We covered what we need to cover. I would need to see what Cole Robinson's looking at. Is that the snake diet guy? Says, is Elliot Hall still a hippie weirdo? I miss his old strongman training videos. He might be. I don't know what he's doing these days. What is a typical fake Natty stack where they look impressive by natural standards? It's not crazy enough that most people don't question. Just any moderate dose of anabolics. So Marco, usually for people out there to start screaming steroids, it's not steroids anymore. Does that make sense? Like guys who are using a gram of gear, they're not getting that same call out. It's once growth hormone and insulin come into the mix. With that 2 gram dose of gear, that's where we're seeing where people go, oh yeah, that's steroids. But that's actually usually growth hormone and insulin at that point. It's not just steroids. You know, keep in mind, Frank Zane used lots of steroids. Put that in perspective. Frank Zane used Tren and Primo. All right. He used Parabolin. He used Primobolin, all those things, pretty significant amounts. That is a steroid physique. That is a pretty heavily enhanced steroid physique. But it's not having that freakish look that everyone wants to call out. So when you're seeing these guys who you're thinking, oh, they are on natural or they're their own gear, they're usually adding other stuff. It's not just steroids at that point. Well, Jeff, because we got Justin pretty far and we've had to back a little bit of stuff down with some stuff in his life, he'll come back up to making strength gains. Just we're going to have to chip away at it. Keep in mind, like it took, some of that stuff to literally go from like a 470 to a 500 squat was like 2 years of work, so on and so forth. Lars, a lot of the Golden Era guys were not because it wasn't that popular to that. It was Parabolin hitting in the old amps, like the 76 milligram, which was Trend Hex, I believe. I could be wrong, I believe it was Trend Hex. So that's what a lot of the guys were getting. It's not like the Trend Acetate that people were thinking of later. So a lot of the Golden Era guys weren't. It was a lot more of Deca, Primo, a little bit of Test, D-Bowl. Those were kind of their go-tos. That's what the guys were using. All right. Vegan Gains is weird. Of course he is. I've already said I'll cover Revival Fitness eventually. I'm not going to cover him in the comments. Vegan Gains doesn't look better than me. Vegan Gains passes out on stream. I didn't know he passed it. I don't watch any of his streams. I don't know what he's doing in those. Do you remember Ken Waller? Yeah, of course. If Sam Salute was born in Arnold's time, another golden era bookworm, would he still be more muscular than Arnold? No, because Sam is using gear that they didn't have. Has Victor Conte been boing? He's been signed. I have no idea. I have not heard anything from him. Vegan Games was Jason's nuttigger. He was at one time. Durian Riders. No, didn't he go on test admittedly? I thought he admitted to going on test for a while. Didn't he even show the pictures of the vials? That's a good question, Matt Nogus. I need to see what Matt's doing these days. Actually, I have no idea. Would you do a natty or not on Jeff Nippard? Yeah, probably. Eventually. LeBron James is natty. No, he's an elite athlete. He probably isn't. I don't know anything about the High Rocks thing. Do Cali Muscle again. We need to see him angry. I'm going to totally do Cali Muscle again. It's coming up. I'm probably going to cover him this week. Do you think Greg Doucette's a narcissist? I don't know. You're going to ask me to assess someone's personality and a psychological disorder based upon whatever their internet persona is, which is possibly an act. So, Halo, think about that for a minute. The persona that people project online may not be a true indicative of their real personality, so you can't do that. Cali Muscle turned natty. No, he didn't. The evidence is that he didn't. And I'll discuss that also. Pepper Pig says watermelon games, right? How's Hulk Hogan still alive? What do you mean? Why are you asking why Hulk Hogan is still alive? Why wouldn't he be? Is there something you know about Hulk Hogan that I don't? Before you say, well, he used steroids, steroids don't seem to be as big of a risk by themselves as people think they are. You don't have much evidence for the fact that steroids themselves, even in moderate amounts, are going to shorten your life significantly. Like, you just don't have evidence for that. Yeah, but that doesn't, taking gear his whole life doesn't mean he's going to die at 60. You see what I'm saying, guys? That's not how it works. Hulk Hogan's just looked like a ghost for many years now. Well, yeah, he's gotten older. Marco says, I remember Bold Omni-Man commenting on your channel a few years back. All these people who turned back when you used to, they were my fans. They were all in my comments. They were all on my social media. They were all up in my stuff until they got popular to turn on me. And then they jumped ship. Bunch of turncoats. Do you think Chef Rush is natty? No, obviously not. The comments are still there on some of your videos, so there you go. There we are. Is Scooby natural besides TRT? Of course, probably not. I mean, I think Scooby didn't, he always, at least in one documentary, implied he was pro gear to some extent. Let's see. Chaco will make natty or enhanced. I don't understand the war criminal part. Jocko looks like he's on gear to my knowledge. I mean, just looking at his overall size, if I recall, and I could be wrong, maybe I'm visualizing it wrong, but I just assumed he was on gear when I saw him. Been a while though. All right. Scooby always danced around the topic. You've never meant those words. He was on TRT, but Scooby also gave a very pro anabolic position in a documentary once. Yeah, no. Paris Butler used to comment on my Facebook and my YouTube all the time. All the time. It was normal. He was a regular contributor in the comments. Just mind blowing how people are getting extremely muscular compared to decades ago. Well, yeah, the drugs are different, right? Yeah, it's the growth hormone, the IGF-1, all the insulin, all the mix. That's what's doing it, right? Milo Wolf dwarfs you. I don't know how tall is he. Isn't he like 6 foot something? I see Natty Does Fitness comment on one of your lifting tutorials. Yeah, possibly. All right. Is there anyone shorter than you? The majority of them are shorter than me. Dude, I've been to an expo or so. I've seen the heights of people. The majority of the influencers are shorter than me. So that's a strange question. Orbital Trail says I did a chin up. Hey man, that's good. Now work on getting your second one. Work on getting your third one. Make progress. Jeff Side is the same height as me in person. Yeah, but Luke, people's heights don't change in 15 years. Do you think my height, Jeff Side, Matt Ogius, or anyone else's height changed? And I've seen Simi and Panda up close, and I've seen other people next to Simi and Panda. That tells me how tall they are. Chad Life, what do you GH dose for blood sugar be a concern? Depends on the person, probably around that 5 to 6 unit mark. No, Simeon Panda's not Natty, dude. Come on. Okay. Okay, Jason, check your sub count. I'm sure it's gone up. All right, let's check my sub count. People are going to pretend like I lost a bunch. No, I'm still good. I'm up from where I was 2 days ago. Jason Blaha, I totally street raced in high school. Yep. Just like all my friends did. It was perfectly normal. All right. Coach Simeon Panic is Natty. You just have the wrong attitude for games. Need that positivity, right? Remember when you said you would bite Jeff Side's nose off? I did say that, actually. You said one time, Jeff Side is tiny, dude, in person. I don't know if he's tiny still, but back then he was. I would put him around 5'9", about 100, maybe 170 pounds when I was there at that expo. He was claiming 6 foot, 200 pounds with 18-inch arms. He was not. Calgary Barbell Natty. I have no idea. I know the name vaguely. I would need to look it up. Do you think Simeon was the one who leaked his own wife's privacy pics? I've never even seen his wife, so I have no clue what pics we're talking about. What do you think? What do you make of Elon Musk being the shadow president? That doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, dude. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Guys, they can't be bot subs. I have a check mark. Check YouTube's process for giving those out. Speaking of that, does natural hypertrophy have a check mark? Why do I have a check mark and he doesn't? Let me check. Did he get one finally? I don't know. Let me look. That's a good question. Oh, Frenchie over here. Why does he not have a silver play award? Halo, I don't have thoughts on climate change. Lucian, I don't know who that is. We need to get me a gold play button. I keep doing these. I think we will. So these guys just did their little math on sub, and I still have more subs than I had 48 hours ago. Y'all gonna have to do better, guys. So what's Blaha's opinion? Ziz, I gave Chris the passes to possibly being natural. That doesn't mean that he is, by the way. That means that it's possible, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Super Venom, what are you running these days? A very small amount of Test Deca and Primo. Is Vegan Gain still with his Belgian wife? I believe I heard a rumor they just got divorced. Lars says, hating on an online persona is weak at most. It's entertaining, but seriously, growing up, hate is a very harsh word. Super Film, no, I don't think people should come home. All right, guys. Cactus says, oh my God, I can't breathe. What are we talking about? All right, guys. I feel like I've covered everything I want to cover in this one. I'm going to wind it down. I hope it's been informative. I love all of you guys and gals, and I will talk to you next time.